Verbatim. You're welcome. Good to see you, sir. Lovely dress.
Now we go to item 5 on the program, National Anthem. Could you be upstanding for the National Anthem? Police Band. Without inviting to this podium here my tag team partner, Ibrahim Modi. He will soon be a doctor. We added PhD. Ibrahim, with permission of the chairman, please come and join me here as we do very brief welcome. This is a journey that started 2012. And this man here, we have a lot of things in common. He's from Adamawa and from Imo. Our movements crossed. When he was serving in Imo, I was serving in Adamawa State. And we both met again in Newswatch. Attended the interview the same day. I think maybe I scored higher than him. But each time he sees me, he'll say my other and I will say my other. So each letter, whenever we write a letter, he will say, me and him, son, we want to build the national empire. May it be well with us in the mighty name of Jesus. Today, 12 years, 10 years, we give glory to God and pay special thanks to a number of people that have assisted us in many ways. We started with a news magazine. Today we are doing an online newspaper. And today again we will make a presentation, if the printers are here, of a daily newspaper for you to take a look. That one will be called Verbatim Special, and it will be special in every way. So I will invite my very good friend to say a word before we hand over to the chairman so that we don't waste much of your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, my Oga. Mr. Chairman, sir, a very highly respected and distinguished gentleman in all ramifications. As a police chief, he was the signation of all lives wherever he goes, and he has left an imprint in the sand of times. Please, let's give you a very big round of applause for chairing this. My Oga, thank you. We started this movement since our days in Newswatch. We've always been together. And a lot of our friends and relations that we met on the field as journalists were surprised that up to today, we are always together. Adamawa and Imo. And by the grace of God, the sky will be the starting point. This paper has come a very long way in investigative journalism. This is one man that is a hardcore professional. Believe me, Mr. Toes, because of his investigative prowess, he has been severally invited to the United Nations to go and make presentations because of an investigative posture in Nigerian journalism. Please, let's give you a big round of applause. Not to waste a lot of time, Mr. Chairman, sir, I thank everybody that is here today, this evening. When I see a crowd like this, very fantastic, highly dressed people, very responsible, I tend to forget that Nigerians are in difficulty. When you see everybody here, everybody looks very well. And I hope this country will move from step to step in the name of the Almighty Allah. Once again, I thank you most profoundly for coming to grace this occasion. I can assure you that this paper will never disappoint you. Its investigative posture will continue. And I can see my very good friend, Dr. Mainasara, a high distance journalist, also around the chairman. I wish to welcome you, sir. Any other person that is here, you are most welcome. Everybody is on the high table, and we thank you most profoundly. Thank you, sir.
Guys and vibrant journalists are supposed to be gathered. And he insisted that I should come and be the chairman. And I decided that out of curiosity that I will come and be the chairman. And that is why I'm here this evening. I must thank the editor-in-chief. Celebrating 10 years in the newspaper industry is quite a nightmare. When you put it against the background of the economic situation we are facing in this country, you'll be wondering how has somebody been able to still continue to produce a paper every month, every day, under this situation. My paths and some of your correspondents crossed our paths when I was the principal staff officer to 3 inspectors generals of police for 5 years. I think I remained one of the officers who served, as a principal staff officer consecutively for 5 years to 3 IGs. And whenever my IGs they had issues with the press, I had that unenviable, task of having to try to bridge, the gap between the journalists and the Nigerian police force. It is true that the Nigerian police force will have a trust gap. Public perception of our, activities are always very, very broad. So we are always on the defensive trying to argue to see how, we can win the hearts and minds of Nigerians whom we are asked to serve. Anyway, to the editor-in-chief, I thank you so much for bringing this group of the people here this evening to come and celebrate you at 10. And my prayer is that you are able to sustain this newspaper and the ones you want to bring on board. It's a difficult task, and that is why we have to appeal to all Nigerians who are here this evening to lend a hand, a helping hand to this gentleman who has distinguished himself in journalism, to continue to keep newspapers, on the table, especially when it has to do with investigative journalism. I have encountered a lot of your correspondents. They are painstaking in the way they carry stories. They have come severally to verify, whether the story that they are going to print is, the facts are, in tandem with what actually happened. And I can vouch that Verbatim is one of the most respected, tabloids that we have in this country today. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, let me on behalf of, the management and staff of Verbatim, welcome all of you to this wonderful occasion this evening. And I'm sure we are going to have a very wonderful evening, especially with the caliber of invitees we have, starting from my good friend, the NECO CEO, who has come with a full house. And other awardees, including my friend who is going to be the guest speaker at the presentation. I'm sure we are in for a wonderful evening. You are all welcome.
To celebrate this momentous journey of 10 years for Verbatim magazine, the theme I have been asked to speak on, democracy, leadership, and challenges for 2023 elections for sustainable development, is apt at the correct time, because it's at a time when political activities have been lifted, when politicians will go to any length to win the confidence of the citizenry. But before I go into that, permit me to pay tribute to Verbatim magazine. Over the 10 years, you have discharged your constitutional responsibilities to the nation in tandem with Section 22 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I do congratulate you and commend your resilience for the disposition of patriotism in the building of Nigeria's sustainable democracy. The chairman of today's occasion, it is wrong to call him former Inspector General of Police. There is nothing like that in the dictionary of service. We call him Inspector General of Police, Chief Solomon Arasi, PhD. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to stand on the well-established protocols. Democracy is said to be defined as government of the people, by the people, and for the people. That is paradoxical, because in the real sense, democracy is only a means, it's only a vehicle. The objective is decent development for citizenry. In other words, the result of the democracy is what should be more concerned to us rather than the definition. But nevertheless, if we are to take it as it's a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, I think the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is right. Under Section 14, subsection 1, where it says that sovereignty belongs to the people. If sovereignty belongs to the people, then people should be the repositories of power and authority to determine who becomes what and what you should do in office. And whatever you do, they should be the yardsticks to calibrate your performance. And that is the reason why you have periodic elections, so that whosoever has not performed meritoriously, the people have the right to put him out of office. But constitutionally speaking as well, Section 130 says that the President is the Chief Executive Officer and is the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federation of Nigeria. The same Constitution gives the President the power to appoint lieutenants who will be the Chief Executive Officers of ministerials, departments, and agencies to hold stake on behalf of the President. These positions are provided in various sections of the Constitution. Section 153, Section 147, Section 150, Section 174, Sections 212 to 215 and some other. Now, in setting agenda, in the interest of the common man, we go about in electioneering campaigns. The Electoral Act of Nigeria provides under Section 97 that electioneering campaign shall not begin until 150 days to the election. But that is only theoretical, because we have seen politicians under the guise of consultations, sympathy visits, cultural festivities, religious consultations, and so many other things going about their campaigns far long before the declaration of campaigns last month. 29, Section 30, and Section 31 provides 3 alternatives on how political parties should bring about their candidates. The first one is that political parties should allow party card-carrying members to go and vote directly, which is popularly known as option A4. The second option is that the political parties should appoint some people who are called delegates. These delegates, whether 33 in number or local government or per state, should be the ones to now decide on behalf of the citizenry, on behalf of the members of that political party. And the third option is consensus. where the stakeholders and the power brokers of the party will decide and say, yes, this is the person that should be. And all the three are correct in tandem with Section 221 of the Constitution, talking about political parties as the vehicles of movement to the government office. Now, all the political parties, almost all of them, at least to my knowledge, the major political parties, have adopted the second option, the use of delegates. Now, the use of delegates, what did it give us? The use of delegates doesn't necessarily give you the best materials to go for contest, but it gives you materials based on their ability to be the highest bidders. Worst of it is that we have seen derogation of the status of Nigeria's currency by the popular terminology we have now seen in our political dictionary, dollarization of delegates. Politicians can go to any extent to win the confidence of the electors. Politicians can use whatever they want. And that is why if you are talking about nation building, then go to a little extent in talking about politicians. The interest of the politician is, how do I win this office? Whether it's by falsification of certificates, whether it's by inducement of money, whether it's by telling lies on oath, or whether it's by use of sentiments. And when he gets there, how will he sustain himself in the office? Up to the end of his tenure without any reason for him to be booted out. And at the end of the tenure, how will he make his crowning? How will he crown who will be his successor? That is the interest of a politician. The reason why you see Nigeria's democracy not translating into veritable development in Nigeria is because we have deficiency of statesmen among the politicians. A statesman is somebody who is highest in all ramifications, who has reached pedigree in his own chosen field of endeavor, who is afraid to tell lies, who is afraid to get money of unquestionable value. A statesman is somebody who is seeing himself as vicegerent of God, as representative of God to transcend justice and fairness over whatever environment he finds himself. A statesman is somebody who is building society for generations after him, 10, 20, 50, 100, 1,000 years. His interest is, let my good name be preserved in the annals of history. So deficiency in the number of statesmen is the reason why we are having deficiency in political deliberables. But that should not be blamed on the politicians. No democratic power play can excel better than the assembly of rules and regulations provided. The Constitution and the Electoral Acts have given us provisions. But even if you have the Constitution, at times you have the Constitutions creating problems for sound operational system of democracy. Take the case of Section 7 of the Constitution. Section 7 provides for establishment as a veritable tier of governance, the local government structure. The local government structure has 28 responsibilities. Maintenance of local security is there, town planning is there, naming of streets are there, naming of house numbers is there, maintenance of parks and recreations is there, maintenance of cemeteries is there, education at the primary level is there, maintenance of motor parks is there, maintenance of markets is there, maintenance of social services is there. It should be the avenue through which national and international support in terms of immunization and other things should go. It has 28 responsibilities. But the same Constitution provides under Section 124. There are 6 subsections there that says any grant going to the local government by the federal government should pass through the state government under what is called joint account. And that is the reason why even when the president said under Executive Order 10 that there should be autonomy of local government, the state governors kicked against it. They went to the court, and the court said that any law or pronouncement by the president, if it's inconsistent with the provision of the Constitution, it is null, void, and of no effect as per the provision of sections 1 and 2 of the Constitution. So that is the basis upon which the governors are emasculating local government structure. And if you remove the local government as a tier of government, you are allowing certain things to come in and fill up the vacuum. One of it is unemployment. The second is lack of social harmony. The third is insecurity, among many, many others. And that is the reason why you see prevalence of insecurity now more than before, because that tier of governance that should be able to provide many things that will curb insecurity has been eroded by virtue of section 124 of the Constitution. And the governors are not thinking of doing anything. Even the members of the National Assembly are not thinking of amending this. There is no local government council in Nigeria now that in a month it earns lower than 250 million naira. But you went there where all those monies have been going for the past 7 to 8 years. So I call on the National Assembly now that they are considering amendment of the Constitution. This is one of the critical areas to be amended. Unfortunately, it is not even being looked upon. The second thing I want to talk about is that there are conflicts regarding the operations of the law. Section 33 and 34 of the Electoral Act say that if a candidate emerges from a political party, you can only change him under two conditions. One, if he voluntarily resigns and put it in writing and takes it to his party and to the INEC. And the second, if he is dead. Based on which INEC will now give you 3 weeks within which to conduct another supplementary primary to fill up the vacuum. Section 115 subsection D of the same Electoral Act says, in replacing that vacuum, you must be a candidate in the first primary election conducted for you to participate in the supplementary. If you are not a candidate in the first primary, automatically you are disqualified. So it prohibits double contest during a season of political activities. Therefore, if you go and contest for presidency and you didn't get, you cannot jump and say, I want to become governor or senator. You should either be an onlooker or support another person so that on consolatory basis, he will be able to give you a political appointment when he gets. But those people that should know better, the midwives and the mechanics of the law, are the number one at the front burner in breaking this particular constitutional provision. Because the interest of the self has beclouded the national interest. I know of some governors that are now candidates. Somebody asked me, say, you said somebody cannot contest. They contested for president and now they are gubernatorial candidates. I said, yes. Under section 36 of the Constitution and under sections 213 to 304, the judicial system we have is that based on pleadings. If nobody has gone to the court to challenge that one, they will take it and they will go and eventually they will be called their excellencies for the second time. So that is where citizens' participation is very, very important and very, very paramount. But how can the citizens participate? The citizens should know that democratically speaking, they are the custodians of the authority and hegemony of power play as per the provision of section 14 subsection 1. What I want to say is that It is not everything politicians talk to you that you should listen to. Section 15, subsection 1 of the Constitution states that Nigeria has a motto. The motto is unity and faith, peace and progress. And what is the basis of the unity and faith? Section 21 of the Constitution has given us the answer. Respect to our historical, cultural heritages of playing the system of common brotherhood. Section 94 of the Electoral Act says that it is illegal for any politician to campaign on the basis of tribe, religion, ethnic, or any other primordial consideration, sentimentalism. But here we are. Somebody will come out and say, Muslim ticket. And say, my candidate is from Igbo extraction. He is a candidate of the Yorubas. All those things are unconstitutional. Because our constitution, right before even the Electoral Act, has prohibited any vices of sentimentalism on the basis of religion, tribe, on the basis of any consideration. As a matter of fact, the so-called geopolitical zones, we are having 6 geopolitical zones, are imaginary creations of the PDP. PDP is the only party that has it. In order to subtle its own mechanism of getting leadership sharing. No other political parties has it in its constitution, and it is not there in the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Because sections 2 and 3 of the constitution provides for only 3 tiers of government: federal, state, and local government. And that is why even those people that are pronouncing issue of regionalism or policy, regional policy, that is gross brazen violation of our constitution. Because sections 214 to 216 of the constitution says the responsibility of policing the territory of Nigeria is that of the Nigerian police force. Where police force is unable to do it, section 217 to 219 says they can request for assistance from other security agencies. And besides, if you say you have a regional police force called Amatekun for the whole of region, which House of Assembly will make laws for it? Which House of Assembly will approve budget for it? Which House of Assembly will confirm appointment of its chief executive officers? It is clearly in contrast to the provision of the Constitution, talking about section 153, subsections K, N, and M. These provisions talk about the National Security Council, the Nigerian Defense Council, and the Nigerian Police Council. And the Nigerian Police Council, part of the membership, are all the governors of Nigeria, they are members. And a governor that is a member didn't go and make case for amendment of the act to accommodate regional or state policing. Will be the one to come behind the doors and create something contrary to the authority that he is a member of. To further worsen it, section 14, subsection 1 and 3, section 15, subsections 3, 4, 5, 6. Section 16, Section 17, 1 to 5, Section 18, Section 21, 23, and 24 of the Constitution. All of them says that Nigeria should not be governed on the basis of tribal, religious, ethnocentric cleavages. Therefore, anybody that comes talking to you about issue of this one is my brother, this one is my brother, don't listen to him. Therefore, the fundamental challenge is for the citizenry to use their brains, not their ears. There are two faculties of reasoning to every human being. Your reasoning is either going to be dictated by your brain or by your heart. Heart works with enjoyment, life, sentiments, while brain works with reasoning, rationality. So work with your brain, not with the heart. If you want to work with the heart, then you are prepared to worship your money back. Even though I do not blame so many of them, the economic harshness in the country is making so many people to be corrupt. Let me give you an illustration.
Madam.
How 3 bags of Ghana must go. 1, 2, and 3. Fill up this one with Holy Bible. Fill up the second one with Holy Quran. Fill up the third one with assorted bundles of naira, even if it's 200 denominations. Ask the whole members of this hall to queue, and they should be taking one out of the bags. I don't need to tell you which of the bags will drain down first. Which means we are practicing faith subsidiary to our interest in materialism, and which is most unfortunate. Somebody was telling me that Nigeria is the most populous country in religion. I told him no. In Nigeria, we practice religion by birth, not by faith. If we are practicing religion by faith, then everyone that comes will pick one of the religious books. But because it's by birth, somebody believes his interest is how to satisfy his immediate demands, not knowing that 3 steps after picking it, you can slump and die without satisfying the immediate demands. I always give an example of India. The reason why India is democratically very stable is because of one word that they excel in. Tolerance is the word. Tolerance is the word. India is more populous than Nigeria. India has more number of tribes and religions than Nigeria. India is more cosmopolitan, higher than Nigeria. But in India, on Salah festival, your neighbor who is worshiping a cow can come and congratulate you for successful festival that you used in slaughtering the same cow. Tell me if it's in Nigeria, something you worship, somebody is coming to slaughter and he is expecting you to go and congratulate you. So the fundamental thing is that we should bear that all of us, we are from one source. We are all from Adam and Eve. If God had wished, all of us will be looking the same. Just like the Japanese. If God had wished, all of us will be worshiping the same God. Or will all be even be the country that doesn't even respect religion. If God had wished, all of us would be the same males or the same females or whatever. But God decided deliberately to create of this diversity in Nigeria for one singular purpose, for test. Life is a trust. God decided to make you alive, to test you. Your ability to have tolerance, to eschew bitterness. If today I see a vulture or a pig, I decide to use a stone to throw it, I don't want it near me. It doesn't even know what you are doing. Because it doesn't have the faculty of reasoning to know what you are doing. The one you are throwing is the one that creates it, the God Almighty. You are saying that God doesn't know what to create since He has created what you hate to see. So the trust God has given us is that we should be able to live in peace and harmony. We should be able to know that it is not my decision that one woman from Katsina State will be the one to born me. If God had wished, I would have been born by a fake woman or an Ibibio woman. God did not discuss with me who should be the mother that should born me or where I should be born. No. So leave the difference to God and and then show example of embracing in the spirit of common brotherhood, bearing in mind that all of us are from Adam and Eve. All of us. Now, if we do that one, then we will be able to see beyond oil. We have 128 solid minerals under the land. We have rhodium, which is the most expensive commodity in the world. We have uranium that is used for nuclear armament. We have gold, we have silver, we have diamond, we have sapphire, we have aquamarine, we have so many of them. But we are restricting ourselves only to oil. And even the oil, we are not united to get the best of it. So the point here is that if we bring ourselves into unity and then decide to chart a course of nation building, China is only 11 years older than Nigeria by independence. But China is now the leader of the world. So if we can unite and extract these resources, we have all the potentialities to be a superpower. We have Nigerians that are making it at the international forum. The immediate past president of the United Nations is a Nigerian. Amina is there as the Deputy Secretary General. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala is there as the leader of the trade board. We have the late Bolchindo, Edin Kopek, late Rulwan Lukman, and several others. We have so many of them at the level of the Commonwealth. We have them. Emeka Anyango is still alive. We have so many of them. So let us try to eschew bitterness and unite in the interest of prosperity. Unfortunately, I have been given not to round up because if I don't have respect for constituted authorities, I will not have basis to criticize the politicians for not playing the rules by the game. I thank you most respectfully for listening to me. I wish you success.